Okay, this is the start page for the GVI Config Tool. The start page is broken into two areas. We've got project-based tasks on the left, and on the right hand side we've got a couple of wizards. We've got a clone inverter wizard and an install firmware wizard. So if we select the clone inverter wizard, it will show the first page, and on this page we have a button which allows us to create our first clone file. So if we click on this button, it will open another window, and here we are going to scan our CAN bus network to find our source inverter, the inverter we're going to use as our golden sample. So we're going to select on node ID 6, proceed to the next page, and on this page we're going to have a source object dictionary. So we have to import an object dictionary which we're going to read the parameters from the drive based on. So we're going to import this EPF file, which is this XML based object dictionary, and this is the details about the object dictionary. And then we move to the next page, and on this page we are going to actually read up the values from our selected inverter. If we push this button here, we can see that the progress is shown and the read parameters have occurred without any errors. Any errors would be shown in this area here. So we're now told that if we push the finish button, we'll actually create our first clone file. So I push the finish button and we can see the first clone file appears in this list here. So these clone files are created in a file or a folder which we can look at using this button here. We can see the file appears here. We can actually modify some features of this clone file. We can modify the clone file name, and we can put a description in this panel here. And in the bottom panel we can see the actual parameters that have been read up into the clone file. And we can see we've got a column for index, subindex, name, parameter type, and a clone category and the value. So the clone category, we have 4 clone categories in the file. We've got one which is always, which means that we always clone it. We've got parameters which are motor, defined as motor parameters, and parameters which are defined as communication and application parameters. So if we briefly scroll through here, we'll see there's quite a few parameters which have been read up into this clone file. So if we push OK, we can see a clone file sitting there now. So under normal circumstances, you would now find another inverter and use that as the basis for the cloning. We would clone from this first inverter to the next inverter. But what we're going to do is actually use the clone file to write back down to this same inverter. So on this final page, the cloning actually takes place. So we've got our target inverter, which was on this previous page, and we've got our selected clone file. So the target inverter is currently in pre-operational. All cloning operations have to occur in a pre-operational mode, so this is why this NMT control is here. So it allows you to move the inverter from operational to pre-operational. And in this panel here, the selected clone file, we can see the file name we gave it and the description, and we can see the source object dictionary that we selected and the source inverter that we selected. The panel below is where we actually do the cloning. So we've got the big clone button, and we've also got a button here for selecting the type or the method that we're going to use for the clone. We have a full clone or a partial clone. When we select partial, this allows us to ignore parameters which are clone category, application, communication, or motor. So we could actually say I only actually want to clone the parameters which are classified as communication. So again, if we look at the cloned parameters window, we can see that these parameters, the communication parameters and the always parameters, are shown. So these would be the subset of parameters that would be written down to the drive from the clone file. But in this case, we're going to leave it on full. And on the right hand side here, we've also got a checkbox which is used to turn off the auto save to EEPROM after the cloning file has been written down to the inverter. We can switch that off, and then we're given a button which we can use to manually save the parameters to EEPROM, but we'll put it back on and do the clone. So pushing the clone, we can now see that the parameters are being written down to our target inverter, which in this case is the same as the source, but and we can see that the progress is fairly quick. It takes about 30 seconds for these 685 parameters that we have in our clone file. And once it's finished, we'll see the clone status go to clone successful and then successful store all. So we've now actually cloned our inverter. Any cloning errors that occur would also appear in this panel at the bottom. So now we've finished. We can click the finish button.